Okay, welcome to the next game here on pitch one of the LMS World Cup. It's South Africa taking on the USA. I'd like to welcome back Bjorn Briggs to the commentary box. Hi Bjorn.
Hi Lee, how's it going?
Living the dream here in this little sun trap of Chester. It's been a fantastic day's cricket so far. I know there's plenty more to come.
Been fantastic weather as well. Good to be out of the cold of Johannesburg and out here in sunny Chester.
So obviously you know quite a bit about the South African side here. Who are these two opening the batting?
So it's Vena Venter. Looks like he's going to take first ball. He's in incredible form. Hasn't failed for quite some time. Just as I say that, he's beaten outside the off stump there, but he really has been in good form. He's made consecutive 50s for the last. Every time I look at his scorecard, there's a 50 against his name the last few months, so he's really in good nick.
This will be interesting because quite a lot of the new ball bowlers today, some of the more established ones, have been getting a little bit of movement with the new ball. So obviously it's probably maybe a different sort of test. Hopefully he continues that good form, but it's certainly going to be a challenging first few overs.
Yeah, it's been good to see the ball moving around early on. I think something in it for the bowlers. But he'll be used to that from South Africa, and the ball moving on early on. And he just needs to knock it around, take a bit of the shine off, and settle into the innings. And I think that's the game plan for the South Africans. Really good shape.
I think that ball swung in an awful lot there. I think that's gone very, very late. I think the umpire almost didn't want to give a wide then. But obviously the rules of the competition like side wides, and Nair's been penalised, and then obviously the keeper Ashwin has then hit the stumps, and then they've run an overthrow. So all happening at the start of this game.
Massive shape in there, isn't he?
Just turning blind there, the South African batsman. Always dangerous to turn blind in any form of the game, and he ended up quickly backtracking. But this has been a very impressive start by Nair.
And Van Beek on strike now is a really classy batsman as well. He's had a few first-class games and just doesn't seem to crack it into the Lions' main side up on the high fault of Johannesburg. But I think he's got a real shot of turning pro. If he can just get a few more hundreds under his belt in the Johannesburg Premier League, you know, a really good batsman to watch. Have a look at him throughout this tournament and tell us what you think, Lee. But I think he's right up there with the best of them.
If he's doing well in the Johannesburg Premier League, I've heard that's a very high standard, so he surely can't be far away. That should be two. Look very relaxed, the South African batsmen. It looks. I think they obviously seem to know their roles, and I'd expect them to be involved towards the end of the week.
Yeah, cricket's a funny game, so they've just got to not get overconfident, I think. They are probably one of the favourites with Sri Lanka, but a lot of unknowns in this game. Chanderpaul obviously playing with the Americans. He is a game changer, so they can't be too cocksure of themselves. They've got to play each ball on its merit and just continue as they're doing, I think.
Well, as if by luck, Chanderpaul, you know, not many commentators get to say this, but Chanderpaul comes into the attack.
I've never seen him bowl, have you?
I've never seen him bowl. I've seen him bat for hours, though. He seems like he's been around forever, but he still looks in his late 20s, 30.
He's incredible, Nick, yeah. 44 years old. Oh, he starts with a loosener.
I'd absolutely love to know how many overs he bowls in the nets at Lancashire, because I've got a funny feeling he spends an awful lot of time on the bowling machine as a batsman. So I think this is going to be interesting in this power play. Chanderpaul comes into bowl again. Back of a length. Picked up, chance of a run out. No one backing up, he holds onto the ball. So in that sort of situation, Bjorn, you know, you've just mentioned Venter is in amazing form. Chanderpaul probably had a half chance of maybe running him out. He's held onto the ball, no one's backing up. Would that have been worth maybe the gamble?
I think it was. I think you got to early on. You've seen what happens in other games. You take a few wickets early on, and it just puts pressure on the batting lineup. Everyone knows they can't play too many risky shots, so that's dispatched.
That's just incredible time in that. You know, Chanderpaul's bowling with no real great pace, and to get the ball, you know, very, very strong wrists, and he sent it sailing over the boundary.
Consecutive boundaries for Van Wyk. It's a good start for South Africa, this.
He looks incredibly strong off his legs there. What sort of batsman, you know, what sort of player is he back in South Africa? Is he a busy player, or is he a powerful hitter? Or
both these players can hit the power game, but their strength is really the running between the wickets and hitting the ball in the gap and in the ground, building an innings, which is why they're opening the batting for South Africa. I think you'll see a lot of that fast running between the wickets. You know, that will probably give them an edge against most teams. I think they'll do that. Be one of the better running teams in the tournament.
Well, we've seen a couple of very impressive teams so far on this first day. Obviously, in the last game, Pakistan looked like an extremely tough outfit. Their marquee player, Abdul Razak, looked like he could cause some problems.
He looked amazing.
And then obviously the Sri Lankans turned the Australians over. You know, Marcus North playing for Australia. It was great to have him in the comms box with myself about half an hour ago, going through the last game. But you know, Sri Lanka looked very impressive as well. So
Sri Lanka did look good. I thought Australia looked a bit undercooked. They were a bit nervous playing that match. I haven't seen them like that before. But hats off to Sri Lanka. They played really good cricket.
I think Australia, you know, obviously you can see that, you know, even looking at the strike rates in LMS, you know, they're all, you know, striking over 200 strike rate. I think they came out with the intent, but just almost went too hard at it, and didn't really give themselves time to adapt to the English conditions.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's easy to say in the armchair, but it would have been nice to see maybe Marcus North opening up the batting and just doing a holding role for the team.
Well, we had a really good chat about that when he was in the box, and he said that, you know, ideally I think he'd like to be a fraction higher, but obviously that's something for, you know, the teams to discuss later, and I know he's around tomorrow and Friday, so any Aussie fans who want to take in a fine Test cricketer like Marcus North, and that's when he'll be around. Just as the ball there darts in from there, you know, he started really well in there. He's only gone for 7 off the 1.5 overs so far.
He's still getting good shape in the second over after those few boundaries off Chanderpaul's over, so the ball's still in good nick.
Comes in again. Van Wyk here, obviously using the swing that Nair's been utilising, just nipping into the stumps. He's trying to play everything into the leg side here, just not playing against the swing at all. As Nair comes in again, there he goes. On cue. Van Wyk just works it into the leg side, down towards the canal. They come back for 2 more. I think South Africa will be delighted with the way they've started here.
100%. Lee, I think this is a really good start. It's just the 3 overs gone, but I think They really want to get to maybe 50 off the first 5, 40 off the first 5 with no wickets down. They'll be happy.
Such a small margin when you're bowling in swing. Obviously looking to be aggressive, attack the stumps. If you just get too much of that, too much swing, it can result in the odd wide, and that's certainly the case here.
It's almost swinging too much for him to control there. He maybe needs to hold the ball cross seam for a bit and use the inducker as a surprise ball. Marty van Beek's 20 off 11 balls. Strike rate of 180, 1416. Score now 28 after 3 overs. 1 over left in the power play. They're going to give Chanderpaul another over here. He's obviously living on his reputation.
There's 2 ways of looking at it. I think this power play is that if you may be limited on bowlers, then it does give you the ability to adapt more early on. Obviously, you're normally going to be bowling against the best players, but you know, for someone like Chanderpaul having the ability to maybe have that extra man on one side.
There's also the fear of playing against someone like Chanderpaul, who's such a legend of the game. The batsmen will have that in the back of their mind that they, nice to tell their mates back home that they hit Chanderpaul for a 6 and a 4. They might be able to strangle a wicket here.
Look, I think if American can pick up any wicket or 2 wickets in this power play, that'll definitely settle them into the tournament. Chanderpaul comes in again. I think that's a much better tactic for Chanderpaul, having the keeper up. It just pens the batsman in, takes the opportunity of them really walking at him without any risk.
That's a much better line as well from him there. Off stump to off stump, short of a length. It's a bit harder to get away.
Venter will be looking to kick on the next time he gets on strike. He's on a runner ball at the moment. Almost happy to play second fiddle to Van Wyk.
Yeah, that's what he's got to do, I think. He doesn't need to do anything silly, just tap it around, get his iron, and he knows he can hit the ball long later on.
Is there anyone later in the innings that can come in and hit the ball powerfully?
I got 3 strikers of the ball that hit it cleanly.
That's a really important hand by Ashwin. It was a loose ball by Chanderpaul, well down the leg side. If he hadn't got a hand on that could have been very, very expensive.
So I think one of the bigger hitters of the tournament will be James Nelson. It'll be interesting to see when he comes in. I'd like to see him bat at 3, but I see they've been batting him at 4 and 5. He hits the ball a mile. He's a big guy. And he's got a lot of experience under his belt. So the sooner he gets in, the better for me. But I think that he'll probably come in number 4. And you've got the young Dalton Webster and his brother Doug Webster, who also have got strike rates of over 180 and averages in the 40s and 50s. So a bit of batting to come.
That should be a comfortable 2 again. The fielder's sat right on the boundary down there at the canal end. There's going to be 2 all day, and with the speed of Van Wyk as well, I think he could really run them ragged here.
I know the guys have been doing a lot of training in the build-up to this tournament. They've had a lot of warm-up matches, a lot of bonding sessions, been hitting the gym, so the guys are fit and ready, and they want to win this trophy, that's for sure.
So, just going on to the USA, how much of LMS is played over there?
So I think there's a real future for last man stands and cricket in general in America. There's a growing passion for the game and the expat community with all the Indians that are out in Silicon Valley with they're just dominating the IT world, aren't they? And we've got leagues in New Jersey, New York, and Napa Valley.
Looks like a change of bowling here, Bjorn.
I think that's City coming onto ball. Didn't get hold of that one.
I think he's got away with a bit of a loosener there. It'll certainly be interesting to see how the USA fare. A lot of the guys travelled over in the last couple of days.
Yeah, so the whole team's flown over from, I think most of them come from the New York region. I don't think anyone got selected from the Napa Valley leagues. But a little bit of information. Their captain has also recently joined Last Man Stands, and he'll be the managing director for Last Man Stands USA. So he'll definitely want to win this more than a few matches. Yeah, he's very competitive, and
again, that should be a comfortable 2 there. I think the USA and the skipper really need to adjust either personnel or where the fielders are stood out there, because literally as soon as they're hitting it into the leg side, they're taking 2 every time.
Yeah, it's worth bringing him in and say, if you hit me, you're taking a risk, and there's always a chance of a catch. Could have hit it for 6 over his head, but
that is a very, very well struck shot by Venter, and he's joined the party as well now. So they've obviously seen at 40 for none it was time to put our foot down, and that's exactly what he's done, and he's just hit that a long, long way towards deep mid wicket. Watching the replay, he's actually picked that up from probably a foot outside off stump. So unfortunate for the bowler, who's obviously trying to get him to hit it towards the offside, but Venter's got a long reach and he's hit it very, very cleanly.
I think on these tracks, I don't know, you'll know more than me, Lee, but I think the bowler needs to push it through a bit quicker. It was a bit too slow through the air there.
I think realistically that, you know, he's got to bowl it into the wicket. You can't just lob it up there and expect it to do anything this early in the tournament on these newest pitches. He's gone after it himself this time. See,
if he can do that each time, then he can bring the fielders in, because it's going to be much harder to go aerial at that pace and that line.
To be fair to the bowler, he did a very, very good job there, because I think they would have looked for 2 again.
Very tidy work.
So after 5 overs, South Africa are 49 for none. If they carry on at this rate, we'll be looking at a score just under 200 at 196. But as we've seen in a number of games today, teams have got off to quick starts, and as retirements and other bits and pieces have kicked in, that, you know, what we think is a good score, you know, or a projected score, it may just fluctuate just a fraction.
I think the South Africans will be targeting 180. But yeah, if they can get to 200, then that's just going to be a bonus.
So this is Ankit Pandya from the Westfield and Colombian Moose team, the Westfield CC.
Westfield and Colombian Moose been great team of LMS. They've been on quite a few tours to South Africa actually, so they'll know some of these players from the Cape Town Open.
Oh wow! So that's a bit of a disaster for Pandya there. He's been really brave to Venter. He's took the pace right off the ball, and he's done his job. He's got hit out to his sweeper, but the fielder has just let one go straight through him. So that puts the pressure right back onto the bowler after executing his skill.
Possibly a few nerves out there. That was a bit sloppy.
Never like to see lightning strike twice, Bjorn.
He hit that really hard, but that was a catch there. That should have been taken, no doubt about it. Difficult, but should have been taken.
So a lot of these USA bowlers have opted to Venter to look to bowl, say, a foot and a half outside and make him fetch it, which he seems to be doing pretty well. But that time he didn't get enough of it, and long on, was in the perfect position there, and it's literally gone straight through his hands.
Yeah, Venter a bit lucky on that occasion. See if he rides out his luck and get to his 50. He's now on 34 of 18, and
It looks like he's starting to motor now. It's amazing how many times this happens, Bjorn, where obviously the fielder has made a mistake. No one means to drop catches, but the bowler obviously thinking about it, then drags one down, and then, you know, what was a potential wicket turns into a 6 and a 4.
There goes his figures. It's a cruel game.
He's going to go and chase that himself, Pandya. Strong call of no from Van Wyk.
Good call there. I think he fancies a bit of strike against Pandya. One ball to come. Nice shot in the covers there by Martin. Just settled for the 1. Keeps the strike.
So, you know, when you see an opening start like this, 39 for one batsman, 24 not out for the other, would you be looking to potentially look at the next batsman coming in to, you know, we're in a position where they can really maybe send one of the explosive players in?
For me, definitely James needs to come in now. They've got a platform. They've got potentially someone in the bank. If they make someone makes a 50 now, James needs to come in. They've also got Cameron Fry, who's a really tidy batsman, works the ball around, runs hard, but doesn't have quite the strike power of some of the other guys. But it'll be interesting to see what their tactics are.
After you mentioned about bowling just a little bit quicker into the wicket there, that last ball was probably a nice indication of maybe what they could look to do there. Just went a little bit quicker, a little bit fuller. And as I say that, he's just literally lobbed one up and...
Thanks for coming. That'll eat that for lunch. And 39, Van Ant races to 45 of 21 balls.
The last 4 or 5 balls they bowled to him have literally been nowhere near the stumps, and giving him, you know, a man of his stature so much space to free his arms. Be interesting to see if the US have got much in the way of seam bowling later in the innings, because at the moment the spin doesn't seem to be causing any real problems at the moment.
No. I mean, it's been a bit loose, to be fair to the captain. He wants the guys to bowl a bit tighter than this. Again, it's a better ball.
I think the big thing, Bjorn, that I've noticed certainly about this innings so far is that without deliberately doing it, the South Africans have scored probably 80% of their runs into the leg side, which suggests to me that you know, the length has allowed them to free their arms up, and every time that they've got it in situation just like that ball there, where it's just been forced into that pocket around the off stump at a decent pace into the wicket, it's become very difficult to hit the boundary.
Much better ball there, quicker through the air.
So what would the USA's aspirations have been at the start of this tournament? Would they be looking to challenge, or are they looking to get out of the group, or are they a developing side?
Yeah, I think they're a developing side. They're going to be taking each game as it comes. I think first, you know, win as many games as they can, and maybe just get 1 or 2 big scalps will be a good win for them for the tournament's success. It's a long tournament, so they'll learn a lot from this first game. But they look maybe potentially a bowler short here.
One thing that quite a lot of people watching won't realise from LMS is that the umpires are actually scoring as well. Do you want to just explain a little bit about that concept for me, Bjorn?
Well, we've got 70 regions around the world. No, about 120 regions around the world and a few thousand leagues. And having a scorer at each game to manage the game it just adds to the cost of the game. We try and keep it as cheap and quick, as easy as possible. And we've developed our own live scoring app. The umpires just have the phone on them. It's actually quite nice for them as well, because it counts the balls for them, lets them know what's happening, and they can explain to the players on the field. On the side of the ground, the players can watch the live scores on their phones and have up-to-date information and analysis of the stats. And the South Africans certainly enjoy it for their after-game meeting to discuss who's done what and dish out the necessary rewards and punishments.
Well, there's absolutely nowhere to hide with that app. We've got it up in front of us now, obviously keeping an eye on what's going on, and I'll be honest with you, it's almost as quick as we're getting to see it live.
Well, overthrows there.
Ankit Pandya there, that last ball must have been probably 20 miles an hour quicker than his previous over. He's obviously decided that flighting it up is not going to be the way for him.
It's a good call. Oh, unlucky. It's an outside edge. And it is a cruel world. That's a boundary.
Well, as Bjorn nips off to field the ball down in front of our commentary position here, Pandya has ran in, and to be honest, he's deceived the batsman there. You'll see that on the replay. And found the edge, but as so often in last man stands, you know, there is no room for a slip. So the balls were raced away for 4 more. And Pandya is becoming a little bit expensive here, Bjorn.
That one kept a bit low, yeah. He's now, I mean, that was unlucky, that last boundary there. It's 24 from his spell so far.
Which did include the drop catch, which went for 6, which obviously that, out of all, that's probably the cruelest so far.
So he's had a few chances, just hasn't gone his way so far.
And just as we say, he's maybe let down a little bit by the field. I think it was Shiv Chanderpaul's just rocketed one in. Obviously, being a good pro like he is, he's got a rocket arm, and the ball's gone through Pandya himself and gone for two buzzers. And they broke the stump in the process.
Have a short break here while they place the stump. That's the Tanvir. He's one of the legends in the LMS London scene. He's been working under Ross Kaywood, who manages the London Last Man Stands leagues, and he's got a few hundred games under his belt as an umpire, so lots of experience there. Devastated that his compatriots from Bangladesh couldn't make the tournament. He's from Dhaka himself. He's sending his best wishes to Reefbat, who I'm sure is listening to this back home with his friends and family, wishing he could be here. We're wishing you were here as well, Reefbat.
For the guys watching on Facebook Live, it'd be really good to know what the highlight of today's been. There's been some outstanding performances, and I know there's been some fantastic players pushing for Player of the Day. Obviously, in this game already, you know, Venta's just got 50 off 23 balls.
Liao was with you this morning for Singapore Wales. Has there been Player of the Day? For me, has still been the catch early on by the skipper,
Manpreet Singh. Well, he's a real favourite of mine anyway, so that's why I keep on remembering his name. But you know, the catch, obviously, that was comfortably so far the standout bit of fielding. Obviously, early in the tournament, he then got 3 wickets and a match-winning, I think it was 46 not out. So look, he's put himself in a very strong position. Razak obviously batted fantastically for Pakistan.
He's awesome, yeah.
But they had so many runs, he managed to get away with having a bowl, and he had a few overs off in the field. So, you know, his striking with the batting was, you know, a real class above there. And Duan from Sri Lanka did very well. He retired with the batting and got a couple of wickets. And I was really impressed with Shabazz Khan from Pakistan, the left-arm seamer.
Okay.
Swung the ball open and I think he got 3 wickets. And, you know, KB
hit the ball nicely.
Oh, well, me and Marcus North were thoroughly enjoying the fact that he swaggered to the wicket in his black trainers and had his shirt out and proceeded to strike at 300.
Yeah, the Indians on Facebook were getting a bit depressed at that stage when he walked into bat, and they certainly got a bit more chipper after a few of his sixes. That's another outside edge.
I think the keeper's just got a little hand on that, Bjorn. Just going to watch that back on the replay. Rafi's first ball there, he's found the edge straight away, and Ashwin, I think he's just took a small step to his left there, thinking the ball may be working its way down the leg side, and then he's just got slightly wrong-footed and got half a hand on it.
Luck certainly favouring the South Africans at this stage.
But change of pace straight away from Rafi there. We haven't spoke much about Fryer. He's 10 off 4, so he's obviously started well.
So Cameron, he's normally a really good guy to anchor in innings and plays good cricket shots on the ground, runs hard, runs well, is fit. Takes a bit longer to get going than the rest. Possibly a good idea to bring him in, because coming in later in the innings, he's not going to have that energy that some of the other guys can have to hit the ball in the air. But it would be nice to see James come in at 3 with that platform.
Is James as nimble between the wickets as?
Well, that's the thing. So
because these two straight away, that ball's gone out to deep mid wicket and they've just took off, and it was comfortable too.
Correct. So he's a different type of player. He's a big unit, so he's not going to be turning as quick as these guys. So the run rate will, the running between the wickets is not going to be as good.
It's great to see so many local people just coming out and enjoying this with the teams today. I'm looking at so many of the locals who are, the ground surrounded by some really nice houses and some flats here, and so many of the locals are embracing this World Cup atmosphere and enjoying the cricket that's on offer. And that takes us to the end of Rafi's first over, 0 for 7, and the run rate for South Africa is still at 11. Ominous signs for the USA at the moment.
One shy of their 100. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see the locals that are coming in to watch the cricket. It's great to see, and lovely bunch of people, very friendly, asking about all the rules, and seem to be getting quite involved with the tournament, so it's good to see.
Well, in the Cheshire area, cricket's it's a real hotbed, and I know a lot of people in the local area will be popping down in the week to enjoy this.
And then obviously there's a big game after this one for the locals, England versus Scotland. Big derby.
Well, it's probably a game where in the past you wouldn't even give Scotland a hope based on cricketing history, but as the last one-day international showed, that means absolutely nothing.
Only good as your last game. And, I think Scotland won that one.
So we're going to make Scotland the favourites in the next one. That was a really classy shot from Van Wyk there. He spotted the gap, and he didn't even run. He knew exactly what he was doing. It had gone straight for 4. I can see why you big this guy up before a ball was even bowled. Both sides of the wicket, he's just rocked back onto that back foot, punched it in front of square. Very classy shot. And to be fair, USA at the moment just don't seem to have the answers to some of this shot making from South Africa.
Yeah, I think it's important for the Americans here to learn from this game. It's obviously still early days, but they do seem to be battling here to find their line and length. That one dropped short again, off very close to one of the spectators, and that could have been nasty, but luckily it's missed her and clipped one of the branches above her head.
Definitely. I'd definitely say watching the game of cricket definitely makes it a safer game, and thank God there was a tree there, because that was a very, very firm strike from Van Wyk, and that takes him 2 away from his retirement.
It's been a good knock from Van Wyk.
I think that could be it. I think he's going to double down there. No. He obviously fancies a dip, maybe to hit a 4 or a 6. He's harboured the strike, and that takes us to halfway in the change of ends.
So far from what I've seen, I think Pakistan looked like Pakistan, Sri Lanka and South Africa looked like 3 of the favourites, yeah?
I completely agree, Bjorn. I'd say that Australia have got more than what they've shown today. I think they'll be extremely disappointed with what they actually put out there today. I think they've got a lot of power. What I would say is that I think they've certainly got a lot of work to do in the field to raise their intensity up to where the Sri Lankans, the Pakistanis were at. I think the teams that have been poorer in the field today have been caught out. Certainly India struggled in the field.
But, yeah, correct. Catches win matches, it's the old saying, and it's proved true again today.
Rafi's going to continue. And I just think for the USA at the moment that they're absolutely just desperate for a wicket, get the group in, have a little chat, take stock.
I think Purva needs to reassess his. Chandipal maybe needs to give him a bit of guidance. Have a look at his field a bit. I mean, it's difficult when the guys are dropping it short, but maybe have a team chat. Say, guys, this is our game plan. We're going to bowl straight and full, or we're going to bowl outside off, and we're going to pack the offside and bring this guy in, and just have a little bit of a game plan. It's pretty much a spread out field, and the guys are running up to bowl, and it seems to be going in a lot of different areas. There's not a lot of grouping, and it's difficult as a captain when that's happening. So possibly a little team chat here or something to think about for the next game.
Van Wyk there was just looking to give that a little nudge into the leg side. It managed to go off his pad there. The rules in last man stands are that the leg byes don't go to the batter, so we'll stay on 49.
So wide.
Good thinking.
Takes Cameron Fry to 12 off 7, 13 off 8.
just take the single down the ground there. Down to JD.
I think Cam batted well against you guys in the warm-up game, but when he started off, he looked a bit scratchy and he was having a lot of inside edges, and I just saw him there again. Something wrong with his technique there that he's getting those early inside edges.
I think maybe it's just maybe the pace of the wicket here. Obviously, it doesn't quite come on anything maybe like it does in South Africa. So, as Van Wyk retires, never a great way for any batsman to retire as a wide. It's not a. I'm sure none of the batters enjoy that, to be honest. Obviously, 3 runs is 3 runs, but
he had a chance though to smash a few before that wide though, so he's got to take his opportunities when they come. And I mean, he's going to be happy with that 50 of just 23 balls, 3 4s, 3 6s, strike rate of 217. Good going.
Look, what I was really impressed with there, both openers are retired, but they've done it in completely different ways. I think Van Wyk showed how you can move the ball around. He's given the US a torrid time. Obviously, Venter gave that chance at long on, and when that went by the wayside, then all of a sudden he just cut loose, didn't he? So, you know, we've seen the power game of Venter, we've seen the touch game of Van Wyk, who, you know, still obviously 4 4s and 2 6s, but I'm excited to see this James Nelson.
So what's going to be interesting to see here is obviously up in the high fault the tracks are a lot harder, so he's going to have to wait for it here. I spoke to him about it before we left, and he's got a little theory about playing the ball later. He's got a couple different weighted bats, and he went out cheaply against you guys in the warm-up game, but let's see if he's got a heavy baton.
Well, as Rafi just walks to the back of his mark, there's a drone just hovering above the far side screen there, surely getting some good shots of the action here as Rafi comes in. That'll settle James right down straight away. He just punches it down the ground.
James Nelson had a great World Cup down in Cape Town at the December 2017.
Again, that just, you know, that bottom hand from Fryer just coming in a little bit again.
Just turning the grip around there, which I think he's got to watch that. I think
he's a little. You can see he's just got a little bit frustrated with himself, saying, you know, I want that ball to be going a little bit squarer. So, you know, testament to him. He's trying to rectify that in his innings. He's aware of that little bit of technical alteration he could make, and hopefully as it goes on we'll see him hit a bit more fluidly.
Yeah, I mean the second half of his innings in the warm-up game against the Chester Boughton Hall Cricket Club, he was hitting it really cleanly. It was just that first 5 overs where the inside edges were coming. So maybe a nerve thing. He's just holding the bat a bit too tight.
How many overs?
Which club does he play at in South Africa?
So he plays in the LMS. He plays for Masagami, which actually a Joburg Division 2 side. But he's been making 50s against them, which he should do because the bowling is not quite as good as the Division 1.
So would he be? Just so, how does it work? Can the Division 2 sides get promoted into Division 1, or is that like obviously we've got corporate leagues and club leagues? How would that work?
Joburg, we've just got 5 Saturday leagues, and it's if you win your league, you go up, and if you come last, then you drop down. The Saturday ones features the Rebels, the Spun, which Martin Wynand Venter plays for. Rebels has Martin van Wyk in it. They got to the finals of the World Cup in 2017 and unfortunately lost to a very powerful Venora from Sri Lanka, who absolutely annihilated them. But they're don't need to hold their heads in shame. That was an unbelievable side with quite a few past professional players in it, and one of the players actually made his debut for Sri Lanka last week. So,
but that's just fantastic in itself, isn't it? The fact that, you know, people are coming through. Obviously, you have player pathways in different countries, but some of the, you know, I think Nick Compton mentioned it before that, you know, we're so lucky here in the UK that, you know, with the cricket pyramid, but maybe in other countries this is a fantastic way of people getting into cricket.
I hope so, and I hope it's long may it continue, and hopefully we'll get many more guys coming through the ranks of LMS and going on to play professional cricket. I know Cameron Fry's working really hard to get a contract, and he's also knocking on the door of Easton's. He's right there. He's a useful all-rounder, and good luck to him.
Just looking at some of these projected scores, Bjorn. Now, if the USA can just rein this in, that you know, potentially they could maybe keep them to under 220. But if South Africa cut loose after this platform, this could get really scary.
It could get really scary. Often what I see happen is actually guys relax a bit because they know they've got such a good score, and they don't actually kick on, and it's harder to come in at the end and blast without getting your eye in, like Martin van Wyk and Van Venter had the luxury of doing. It's always nice opening the innings, where as opposed to coming in and being expected to carry on at 11 and over. It's not as simple as it seems. So we'll see.
Anyway, Kursakara here has started well with just one off the first two balls. Comes in again, and again he's just starting to build a bit of pressure on Nelson here. One local thing to know that the sun actually sets behind the side screen here, so the sun will be going straight down the ground.
James very cautious at the start. He's waiting for the ball to be in the slot before he opens up.
Kursakara started brilliantly here. He's just landing it on a 50p piece here. Well, straight away one good over, and you can hear the USA players really happy with Kursakara there. Just speaking in the background here with LMS founder Wayne Grieve, really pleased to see 290,000 views during the India-Pakistan game today. So thank you if you've tuned in. I know everyone involved with LMS will be absolutely delighted with that. Tell you what, Bjorn, a bit more pressure when you hear those sort of numbers.
No comment.
I just get the impression James Nelson needed that then. He just needed a couple of runs there. He's 2 off 5. He's obviously known as a clean striker of the ball. Just chewed a couple of dots up.
And he won't mind that too much. He knows he's not going to be the guy like Martin and Vainant that runs quickly and hard. But yeah, early on it's good to get bats on the ball and not eat up too many dots. But
here's a question for you, Bjorn. You're Cameron Fryer, obviously very athletic build and was running fabulously with Van Wijk. How does he adapt his game when maybe someone who's less adapt to running quickly comes to the wicket? Does he start, looking to clear the boundary himself, or does he just keep doing what he's doing?
He's got to keep doing what he's doing. Possibly look, he can work at his game and try and really hit the gaps here. And they've got to watch their calling and make sure that he's not running too hard, so that there's a run out.
Well, it's not just been on Facebook today. We've had some great stuff on Twitter as well. Just having a little look, Nick Pothas, he's just put my South Africa boys at Last Man Stand on a live stream at the moment, looking good, and looking forward to meeting up with them in the next few days. Now, this South African outfit look a very strong outfit, so you add Nick Pothas to that. It's definitely going to put them in a good spot.
I wouldn't mind seeing Nick Pothas open up the batting with Vane and Fenter, Chucky coming in at 3, and James Nelson at 4 or 5, and then you've got...
Well, you're going to have to, the two people who've just got 50, you've just named 3 openers, Bjorn, so who would you leave out for Nick Pothas?
Well, I would drop... wouldn't leave him out the team,
no.
But I'd drop him down the order, Martin.
Van Wijk.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad person to come in at 3 or 4, is it?
Because I think he does have he's got a really good power game, so if it needs to... If they're behind the score, he can come in and
sorry to put you on the spot there, but if we don't ask these questions, I've asked Wayne a number of tough questions. He's yet to give me an answer yet. Every team's going to win every game, as far as Wayne's concerned. He obviously values all the franchises. Kishikara has continued here where he left off in the last over. He just seems to be causing just a little bit more bother than some of the other bowlers.
Surprised he didn't come on earlier, actually. He's been really impressive. So
I just feel like there's just a little lull. Maybe you mentioned it before. Sometimes when you're in such a dominant position, 143 for none, you're in a strong position. It's just that little lull, like maybe the calm before the storm.
Correct. It's a tricky one because Cameron's not as big a hitter as the 2 openers, so he's not going to score as many boundaries as them, and he doesn't have a running partner either. So it is something that they've got to look at and try and match the right guys with the right people.
And that's exactly what you spoke about with Fry there. He's the captain from the USA side has just moved third man round, obviously with Kachikara bowling a little bit slower, and he's just chucked a little dab in there and thrown it down to third man for a double.
And Cam's on 32 of 22, strike rate 145, so it's not bad going. It's just not as fast as the other guys. I mean, the captain will be happy with that he's doing his job there. He's anchoring the innings. James Nelson going a bit slow at the moment, 8 of 10, and I think now we want to see him hit a few balls here.
I think realistically for him, I think he's faced 10 balls now. He's got himself in. I think he's got to be looking to put his own stamp on this innings now.
Yeah, even more than that, he needs to put a marker down for the tournament and put the fear of God into the bowlers. That's what he's been brought all the way from Pretoria to do. Big, strong Afrikaans boy. It's wide down the leg side.
He's clearly been in fabulous form. He's ranked 5, is that right?
He's 5 in the world and 1 in South Africa.
Well, it's not a bad ranking, really, is it? Who is 1 in the world at the moment? As Rafi comes into bowl, he's just walked across his stumps there. Shown a bit of a touch game there, Nelson, as the ball just rolls away.
Be happy with that. I think number one in the world is an Australian last time I looked. Josh Khan, I'm told, is number one. So plays on the Gold Coast.
So who have South Africa got tomorrow? It'll certainly be interesting to see how this tournament ramps up and where some of the big matchups are made.
Just checking now, Lee.
See, the umpire's just given a wide there. If I was a bowler, I'd be chewing the ear off the umpire there, saying that the batsman's moved before the delivery. I know in one-day cricket, if you change your stance, that then the wide line moves with it, but that's not the case there. Slower ball by Rafi, very clever bowling there. He saw that Nelson went down to one knee to work it into the leg side, took all the pace off the ball, completely bamboozled him. Bit of a half-hearted shout.
I'll bold that. So tomorrow, South Africa take on Singapore, 12:45. I think.
I was really impressed with Singapore before. I thought they were excellent in the field.
Excellent in the field. Captain set good fields, and well, their opening pair struggled a bit, and their middle order was just awesome, absolutely amazing.
Well, Kunal, one of the franchise owners, was in the comms box with us before, and he very much gave away the fact that Singapore maybe have their strongest batters batting in the middle order. He was extremely excited when the two guys were in.
They played good cricket. They not only hit the big shots, they worked it around. They played the ball and the bowler very well.
Well, some of the footwork was very, very good, and they were hitting some very, very classy shots through the offside. So that was enjoyable to see. James Nelson's adapted his game here just in the last couple of balls. He was hitting down the ground to start with. He's now realised maybe there's a bit more value behind the wicket. So we've seen 2 fours where he's rolled it, gone across his stumps and worked it down towards the vacant fine leg area, and then he's just got a single there where he's just tickled it down to third man. So 159 off 16. First time in the innings it's dropped below 10 and over. Just still feeling confident though, Bjorn.
Yeah, well, I think you're very confident in the change from the South Africans.
Is that a trait of South Africa in general, or is that just of this group?
Well, I think they're confident with the score at the moment. I think anyone could rattle them. Be interesting to see what happens when they play Sri Lanka and Pakistan, the big guys. Then that's when the pressure happens. And
for the rest of, for the next game tomorrow, it would be good to see Nelson and Fry really open their arms now, maybe retire and maybe give one or two of the other guys a little bit of time in the middle.
Well, that's a good point, because nothing worse than keep scoring 180, 200 and only 4 guys are batting in your innings, and then suddenly when you are up against a good bowling attack like Pakistan, and suddenly you need your middle and lower order to come in, and they haven't had any middles and match play, it's tricky.
Well, what intrigued me about the Pakistan bowling lineup was they opened the bowling with just as that ball gets pulled out, split the field beautifully there.
Bit agricultural, but he'll take it. Bit of a heave-ho. It's 4 more runs to his name. He's now 26 off 18, so he's picking up the pace a bit.
Yeah, what impressed me about the Pakistan bowling lineup was they opened the bowling with Bhatti, left arm spinner. He made it really tough. He bowled a really good pace, came around the wicket. Just as finally the USA get on the board, it's been their best bowler, let's be honest. Kesakara has been by far their best bowler in this game.
Definitely, and that's just strange he's come on so late in the game, because they could have used him earlier.
And that's all about learning though, isn't it, Bjorn? At the end of the day, they probably thought, well, we can use Kesakara later in the innings and maybe stem the run flow. The problem is that realistically the damage has already been done.
Yeah, correct. But nonetheless, he's been impressive, and I think he's going to have a big role to play for this USA team the rest of the tournament. He's been impressive. Pick of the bowlers for sure. He's got one ball left in the over.
So Nelson leaves us there for a well-made 26, strike rate of 136. So who's this guy coming in now then?
So we've got the young Doug Webster in. And he's a really good striker of the ball as well, and he'll be running a lot quicker with Cam Fry. I'm glad he's got a chance here to show his teammates what he can do, what he's about.
And straight away, exactly what you said there, Bjorn. He's literally just dinked it into the onside and picked up 2.
And keep an eye out for him in the field during this tournament. I guarantee we're going to see either a few overthrows or a few run-outs. He has got an unbelievable bullet arm. For a small guy, he throws it hard. Smaller guy.
Well, I'm relatively surprised if this isn't, well, it is, that this wasn't going to be Nair, because Nair's bowled 2 overs at the start, even with Venter and Van Vyken at just going at 5 and over. So it looks like they're going to finish the innings with their 2 most economical bowlers. Kasakara's got 1 left and Nair's got 2. Nair got a lot of sideways movement in that first over. I wonder if with the ball being a bit older we're going to see the same thing.
He's still getting movement there, good shape, but still battling with his line.
You see it a lot more outside the first class game where bowlers bowl with an open action and bowl into the right-hander. I know more in first class was a lot more right-handers, people who want the ball to go away, but you can see with that open action, there it is, it's drifted in again. That was a really good ball right into the block hole, probably 5th stump line there. Also, if you're watching it on the screen, you can just see the wrist position that Nair gets the ball in. He's just presenting the seam towards the stumps, any young players. He'll have the shiny side on the left-hand side of the ball. And I'm surprised he only got a single there.
Just a fumble there, and didn't take the opportunity there for a run. It's really good from USA. They pulled it back nicely here. I think it's all thanks to Kasakara there. I mean, we were looking at projected scores of 240, 250, and they're not going to get there by a long way.
Webster just played a lovely shot there. He just opened his wrist beautifully, hit that through extra cover for 4 as Nair comes in again. And that's gone out towards the extra cover boundary again. Fielder's got round this time. Done well again. You can just hear the South African players just starting to get a little bit more animated up there. They just went a little bit quiet then. Just for 4 or 5 overs, I think that, there has been that lull in play. Not that the momentum's not with them. I think 175 is still quite a mammoth total, and there's going to be more added to that. Try and sneak a second run here, but Webster's got absolutely no interest.
Good
at the end of the over as well, was a good arm.
Good arm and good call, and always nice to keep the strike.
Every good batsman can count to 6, but obviously in this game it's important to be able to count to 5. As Nair makes his way down in front of our commentary position here.
Score 176, 2 overs to go. Let us know what you think the South Africans will end up on. You're running hard for 2 here.
That's brilliant running that. That's teams even after one day, realising the dimensions of this cricket ground.
It's a long boundary out there, and that was really good running by the two youngsters in the team.
Kasakara 1 for 14 off 3.1 as the ball gets firmly hit down towards our commentary position here, and Nair fields it and just pops it back to Kasakara.
Lovely bowling, boy.
I think for South Africa they'll definitely be looking to get 200 on the board. I think that'll be a statement, you know, especially after seeing the Pakistanis do it before. He's mistimed that, and that's a brilliant catch out in the deep. He went for the double play, but that is the end of Webster. I tell you what, he did well to catch that. He was looking very closely at the rope there.
And quite a few spectators behind him, so he kept his head together well there and watched the ball. I think Dougie Webster should have tried to go a bit straighter there, try to split the field a bit, but straight down the fielder's throat there, and he'll be disappointed with that. Tricky coming in at the end though, but
just got a text message in from York captain Danny Woods, who's down playing for Cheshire. They're playing at Cornwall today. They've just bowled them out for 250. But he's just having a little word with me, saying about every good batsman can count to 6. Well, certainly when Danny's about to bowl the next over, I know exactly how many balls are left with the ball spinning in. Not that I'll bring up any stories for Danny there. But Kasakara here, who's obviously still trying to spin the ball, 2 for 18 off 3.3.
Skipper at the crease now, Dalton Webster, the older brother of Doug Webster, and he's not going to die wondering here. He's gone for that first ball, and I guess there's only a couple balls left in the innings, and it's the right attitude to take the 200. If they don't get 200, I think the South Africans will be disappointed.
He hasn't quite got all of that. Nair's underneath it, and that is unbelievable. I
think he did get hold of that there, Lee.
I think he got all of that.
You know, it was in the side screen, maybe a bit high, but
it was a strong 9-9 then, Bjorn. He's carried the green there.
Yeah. Good finish to the over there. South Africa needed that. They are now 186, 1 over to go. 14 to get to the coveted 200 total. Nair finishing up here.
They're going to look for 2 here. We're right behind that, Bjorn. Do you think if he'd left that would hit the stumps?
I couldn't see from my angle actually, because the field was in the way there. I wouldn't mind seeing a replay though. It was close.
We've been very lucky with some of the pictures today.
QTV have been outstanding. Oh, that's a great ball by Purver there.
Something definitely to look at from the American viewpoint. You know, 2 of their bowlers have managed to go at around 6 and over, which in this format is fabulous. They're just going to have to maybe do have a little bit of work on maybe some of the fields to some of the other bowlers and come up with some slightly different plans for the coming games.
Yeah, I think so. And Kasakara's got to come in sooner, I think. Really good bowling. 4 overs, 24 runs, 2 wickets. That's what your captain wants.
That's fantastic fielding down here at long on.
Very good fielding. I thought that was going to go for 4, but quick and a good arm as well back into the bowler. See Dalton Webster on strike now.
I think America will be absolutely delighted with the way that they pulled this back, because I almost feel like not the momentum's with them, but I think they're going to go in far happier out the 2 sides in the last 10 overs of that innings.
Yeah, the last 10 overs definitely won by America there. Still 193 on the board. But projected scores, as we said, we're looking at 240 at one stage. So
14 and over was 260. I was thinking, oh, that would have been a real daunting task. Whereas I still think it's above par, 190.
I think 180 is a par score here. But 180 on the board is always tricky to chase if there's early wickets. So 190 is that much harder. They should be in the pound seats here. South Africa, they'll still not be happy with the way the last 10 overs finished, though.
South Africa's, still for me look like they've got a very deep batting lineup. I think they're obviously going to be right in the thick of this tournament all week. And I look forward to certainly seeing the likes of Van Wyk, Venter and Cameron Fryer later in the tournament as well.
Yeah, it'll be good to see them bat, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with their batting lineup. I think they can tweak it here and there, but no, they bat deep, and good 193. If you'd offered that to them at the start, they would have taken it. So.
Just looking through the South Africa scorecard, obviously the opening pair of Venter and Van Wyk both retiring there, both at well over 180 strike rate. Venter was lucky to get away with one at long on. He hit one very firmly and went through the hands of the USA fielder, but after that he was absolutely merciless and started hitting some huge sixes. And then Cameron Frye with 40 off 30. I felt that his innings he stayed well within himself there.
I think that's the role they've given him, to anchor the innings at number 3. Possibly they need to move him up to 1 and move Vane to Martin down to 3. Something to think about. James Nelson seemed to battle a bit again on the slower tracks of England here, used to the ball coming on a bit more. So that'll be a little bit of a worry for the team. But good looking scorecard nonetheless.
Well, I'm intrigued to know where Shiv Chanderpaul's going to bat here. I think that their only chance is surely he's got to be opening the batting.
He went for 41 off his 4 overs, so he needs to make more than that here.
Well, to be fair, I think he pulled it back well, because after that first over, I think the last 3 overs were much better. Very, very good figures from Kersakara, 2 for 24. We've spoken plenty about him and the fact that maybe he should have been in the game a bit earlier. And Nair bowled 4 overs, none for 25. He was unlucky not to get a wicket himself.
Yeah, he bowled well. I think Kersakara really did a job for the USA there. pull them back into this match. They must be thinking now they can get a good start, they can chase us down. They got China pulling their side, and without his bowling there at 4 overs for 20 odd, they were looking at the projected score was 260. You said.
Yeah, well, look, at the end of the day, I think this would be good for South Africa in the sense that if they'd have got 260, I think it would have made it potentially quite a one-sided chase. Whereas this obviously at 190, like you said, if they get off to a good start, LMS USA, that puts them in a live game situation.
100%, and you want your bowlers to be bowling under pressure. So if they do get to knockout stages of the tournament, that they can handle the big pressure moments. We've got Jay Beattie opening up. He's recently moved from Tanks Plumbing in Pretoria down to Bacon in Cape Town, and
interesting name, that, Bjorn.
Very interesting name, interesting bunch of guys. A lot of fun, enjoy their cricket down in the Cape.
Straight on the money there, just a fraction shape in. We saw Pakistan before with Shabazz Khan opening with a left arm seamer from this end, and just getting that little bit of shape, and JBT no different there, straight on the money. Is he predominantly a seam bowler, or does he like to get that movement through the air?
He's more of a swing bowler. I think the conditions should suit him here.
Ooh, yeah. He had a little look over his shoulder to the umpire then. I think he felt that the batsman didn't move his feet a great deal. Just a little wry smile to the umpire there, maybe asking for a little bit more leeway.
I think he knew it was going to be wide. That's why he had to look at the umpire. Bowlers always do.
Just worked out into the offside there, just backward a point.
We've got Ankit Pandya opening up with Ashwin Venkat.
I'd like to think one of these has been given a license, Bjorn, to go at the bowling here.
Definitely have to agree. I mean, a lot rests on their shoulders here. They need to be going at 10 and over. So they really don't have time to play a knock to get their eyes in here. They've got to be pushing ones and twos off every ball, running hard between the wickets. Surprised to see Chanapal not opening up. I thought that would have been a great role for him in this format.
As Beattie comes into bowl again. Just falling away fractionally his action there. Just pulled it down the leg side. So what other bowling does South Africa have to look forward to have a little look at?
One of my favourite bowlers here is the old man of the team, Ryan Hober, who's left arm offie. He's got amazing control, and I think he'll do very well here in this tournament.
He must be licking his lips when he's seeing this wicket today, because by the end of the week, I think he could really come into the tournament heavily.
Yeah, I think as the tournament goes on, it's going to suit the spinners more and more. And he's the leading wicket taker in the Tshwane club cricket scene. So he's been around for a fair while, and he was the best bowler at the South African Championships this year, and that's how he got selected for the team. A lovely guy, and yeah, I can't wait to see him bowl. Got Cameron Fryer opening up the other end.
very skiddy fry.
Very skiddy, and he'll be difficult to get away. He's got to be accurate. If he drops it short, I think he could go for a bit of tap here. So he's got to hit his line and length here.
I had the pleasure of facing Fry the other day in the warm-up game, and I found him extremely skiddy. But he's obviously extremely fit lad. He's back to his mark quickly. He's on top here as a bowler. And he's extremely unlucky there because that's he's just gone a little bit wider on the crease, which I know is a famous trait of a South African player, Makai Ntini. He sometimes got a bit wider on the crease.
That's right, yeah.
But he was extremely unlucky there. Is that James Nelson down there patrolling the
fine leg there? That's Ryan Hobert, the left arm offie that I was talking about, I think. No, I think you're right, actually. I think that's James Nelson. He's got the sunglasses on. You're right, correct. Apologies there, Lee. Well, that was a bit quicker. Not just getting that one on the chin. Halfway down the track, but he got it up there.
From the first thing this morning, I did expect to see a bit more of the seamers going into the wicket a little bit.
Testing it out.
Well, just to force the batsman to go in square of the wicket. It's so much longer square than it is straight.
Good finish to that over there by Cam. 6 off is over.
So do each of the teams have a coach, a manager, or any backroom staff, or each team have their own setup?
So each team's independent and they can choose what they want. I think most of them have a manager. It's quite an effort getting the whole squad together and financing it and booking the flights. And Dan Stone's a big part of the South African team, and a big thank you to him for pulling this all together. And I think these guys could tie their shoelaces without Dan, so he's been immense for the team.
Venkat here, obviously very aware that BT's getting a little bit of movement here. He played a miss there. Just fractionally better footwork there. I think that's definitely going to help him if he can get his front foot across to the ball there, which he did. And good sportsmanship from the USA side there. A very firm throw from Fry out here, and it ricocheted off the batter and choosing not to run, so good to see.
Good to see. Good running as well from them, putting pressure on the fielder there, and Cam did extremely well to get the ball off as quick as he did, but I think he would have been home safe there. Oh, good recovery there from Van Beek. Sliding on the boundary there.
Seventeen for none here off just over 2.5 overs. Who'd be the happier of the side here, Bjorn? Could be another 2 here. No, they're going to happily take the single.
Long way to go here for this innings, so I think America will be happy, South Africa will be happy. They know if they keep going, the USA, they can always pick it up later in the innings. So even though they're behind the run rate, they're going at 6.3 now. They can always step up a gear and kick on, with Chandrapal still to come into bat. Score now is 19 after the 3 overs and 1 over left in the power play. Cam Fry coming up to bowl his second over. Ankit Pandya is on 7 off 6 and Ashwin Venkat 12 off 10 balls.
Just after their earlier success today, Singapore getting past Wales. I'm very lucky to be joined in the commentary box by Manpreet Singh. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Did you enjoy your game today against Wales?
Yeah, it was a fantastic game today. So I mean, we played really well. Our guys were like playing really good. The thing is, the atmosphere is really good, and the fantastic wickets and the weathers you talk about, and the players are playing everything. It was amazing that we had in the morning time.
So it's nice to be the first game today.
Yeah,
Did you enjoy?
Yeah, it was a really good game, and our guys have played really well.
You must have been, as captain, very happy with your team today.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, everyone wants to win here. Everyone comes to here to win the game. So yeah, I'm okay with that.
And have you seen your catch back on the film?
Yeah, I mean, when I went back to pavilion, then after the game, so I saw the catch. Yeah, I mean, for the time I saw that. I mean, it was okay, but when I saw the video, it was a bit of difficult. Yeah.
Well,
so
I've seen that it's been viewed hundreds of times all over the world. So
thank
very
you.
very good. Just while we're here, we've lost our first wicket. Cameron Fry's got rid of Ankit Pandya, and obviously that takes us to 21 for 1 off 3 overs. Manesh Kasikaria from the US has come out to bat, and it's still Cameron Fry continuing from the end nearest to us in the commentary box. Just carrying on with Manpreet Singh. So, did you enjoy batting today?
Yeah, I enjoyed batting today because it was nice wicket to bat and ball was coming on the bat, and I really enjoyed that. And bowlers were good actually, so yeah, I enjoyed.
I must admit, I enjoyed watching you use your feet to the spin.
Thank you.
So, and it's something that we're looking forward to seeing more of. Are you excited about your game against South Africa tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow would be a very good game because they're looking good on the field and batting as well. So I think it would be a nice game. I mean, we're looking to play with us tomorrow. So let's see what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Well, I think if Singapore field as well as they did today, and you have a good game as captain again, then it should be a very good match against South Africa. But I know you're going for a practice with your team now, so I'll let you go. But thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Fantastic insight there from the captain of Singapore. Okay, just the USA just starting to slow down a little bit here. BT's just gained a little bit of control. He's only gone for 13 off 2 overs. So another change in the comms box here. I've got Ross Kaywood. He's here with the New Zealand national team, playing in this LMS World Cup. He's the franchise owner over in New Zealand. He's also heavily involved with the franchise in London as well. Is that yours as well?
How you doing?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
So the one in London's yours as well.
The one in London's mine. It's been going fantastically well. A couple of the England boys from London are playing after this against Scotland, so it's going to be a fantastic spectacle.
Must be great to be involved with so many franchises and knowing so many players that are involved in this World Cup.
Oh, fantastic! From making friends to meeting all people from different parts of the world, it's just unbelievable in what it's all about.
So, did you enjoy the opening ceremony last night?
I did. Fantastic. Marcus North and Nick Compton did a fantastic job with the Q&A. Answered a lot of questions and just was really good.
So your franchise player is James Franklin, is that right?
James Franklin, yes, he arrives tomorrow, and he's here for 2 games, and he's really looking forward to it. He's
So who do you play tomorrow in his first game?
it's New Zealand, Pakistan.
Did you get to watch Pakistan before?
Oh, they're fantastic.
They look really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've only got to see what's gone on this pitch today. What was the outcome on pitch 2 today?
So pitch 2, New Zealand beats the UAE. It was a good game. New Zealand got 220, and UAE were about 15 short at the end. So
Looked like it was raining sixes on
yeah,
pitch 2.
yeah. Nigel Collins smashed 90 off about 27 balls. So he had a great game.
Yeah, it certainly looked very exciting over there. I was looking across and the crowd was gathering and gathering. I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
But this game, obviously, South Africa look a very strong outfit here. The USA have actually pulled, in my opinion, have pulled this game back from at one point where they were looking like they were chasing about 240. But this man Kisakaro, who's batting now, he bowled beautifully.
Yeah, no, done a great job, and the South African team is definitely one of the tournament favourites. They quality outfit, good batters, good bowlers, run hard between the wickets when they're batting, put the bowlers under pressure, fielders under pressure.
They do, yeah. Out of all the teams so far, they look by far the most accomplished fielding unit I've seen.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Very, very quick in the field. But it's been nice to see so many different teams on this first day. I was absolutely taken aback by how good Singapore were in the first game today.
Really good.
Yeah, they were really good. The fielding was outstanding. Obviously, we just had Manpreet Singh in the comms box there just to have a little chat, and he was something else today. He got 3 wickets and took that amazing catch. And
yeah.
40 odd not out. So he's obviously put himself in position. Obviously, you've just spoken about Mr. Collins smashing it everywhere, but he's put himself in a great position for Player of the Day, surely.
Definitely.
So just people watching online, that's our ice cream van here at Chester. So I don't know if you have them all around the world, but this is where someone just drives around selling ice cream. A very important part of British culture.
Fantastic summer we're having here.
It's just fabulous, isn't it?
No, amazing.
So LMS in London, how's that shaping up?
Going really well. It's a strong competition. We've got close on 400 teams playing this summer. So
is there quite a lot of corporate teams in London?
We've got one corporate league that's got 24 teams, which consists of banks, lawyers, investment banks, and then we've just got the normal leagues, sort of club leagues, if you want to call it that, and our teams love it. And we're all sort of now in the final stage of the season, and it all sort of leads into like the London champs, which feeds into the English champs at the end of the summer, end of September.
Well, knowing being down in London a couple of times, I know there isn't a vast amount of cricket grounds there, but to have that many clubs, it must just be fantastic.
Well, we use council grounds mainly, so there's lots of council grounds, council pitches that we run the leagues from, and it's awesome. It's a good setup.
No, I know from playing a couple of games down at Teddington, what a fantastic place in the world to play cricket it is. Obviously up north here, you walk around every corner, there's a cricket ground. It's quite green up here. But I think that to hear so many franchises down in London, and I'm sure it's a growing game in New Zealand as well.
Yeah, it's really good. Close on 150 teams there, so it's fantastic setup there.
I was very lucky to spend a season playing at Waitakere
Brilliant.
in Auckland.
Yeah.
I was probably a bit young when I went over, bit green, but it was a beautiful part of the world and extremely hard cricket. So I'm sure, you know, the fact that it's an opportunity to build the brand and build the franchise over there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a beautiful country. Sport mad, love the cricket. It's fantastic.
The one thing I did enjoy in New Zealand is that obviously there probably isn't as many cricket grounds as the UK. They had the overlapping outfields.
Yep.
I found that a bit scary.
Yeah.
But they absolutely love the sport, and it's great being over there when the rugby's on and stuff. But you know, to have your team over here, obviously you've done well against the UAE today. Do you fancy your chances for the rest of the tournament? I
do. I think the guys they've practiced hard. They're well prepared. They do the basics well. So I think they'll, like any New Zealand team in any tournament, they not the favourites, but they play a good brand of cricket.
Well, Kiwis are known for being extremely competitive. Is there any chance of you doing the hacker if you make it to the final?
I did ask the guys. The response was not that keen.
Well, it's still early in the week, and I'm sure after a couple
Exactly.
of maybe a couple of team nights out in Chester,
Exactly.
that you'll maybe come up with something new. And if you get to the final, I'm sure they'll be more receptive.
Fantastic.
We're lucky. Nick Compton's just popped down to have a little chat with us here now before his game, England-Scotland. So, are you going to jump in, Nick, just for 5, and then Ross, if you pop back in after Nick, that'd be fantastic. Okay, so
thanks, Luke. Thanks for having me.
So that was Ross Kaywood of the New Zealand franchise owner and London franchise owner.
What did Roscoe have to offer there, mate? Much, eh?
Well, he you know.
Is he bringing the crowds back, eh?
Well, I've
waking up the sheep in New Zealand or what?
I don't know what time it is back in New Zealand at the moment.
Is anyone tuned in from New Zealand? Please say hi. Facebook us.
Have you got any stories of LMS in New Zealand as well? We'd love to hear them.
No, my only stories are in LMS in San Francisco as we watch USA, so fairly applicable. My first experience of LMS as the USA batsman loses his bat in rather strange fashion, but still gets through for the single.
I think he maybe forgot which sport he was playing there. He obviously was trying to get to first base there, Nick.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was great, that experience. We played out in Napa, where you know, a lot of wine country in San Francisco, and it was brilliant competition. Lots of Australians and South Africans out in that region, so the cricket was pretty good.
And obviously the cricket's the main part of LMS, and all the guys are here trying their best to win a world championship. But you just touched on the fact that, you know, obviously you're in wine country. It seems like a very social way to play the game.
Yeah, I think that's the way you want to play it. I think LMS lends itself to sort of late evenings after work, you know, very much supporting amateur cricket. So it gives everyone a chance. It's a thumping shot through the offside, I have to say. Really, really good shot from Venkat, who moves on to, I think, 21 now of 21 balls. So he's got to pick up his strike rate a bit if they got any chance of coming back into this game. 193 is the second biggest total of the day, and you know, the South African team look pretty competitive, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I think they've got to be up there with, you know, as one of the competition favourites. We've just seen some brilliant fielding in the outfield there by Cameron Fry. So some of the work so far, their pace over the ground's given them a real edge over some of the other sides in the field. I'd certainly say I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen Chandler Paul. I think obviously chasing such a big score, it probably would have been more suited to get him in a little bit early. You know, he's going to be left with an awful lot to do.
Yeah, get your best player in. He's a world-class performer. 10,000 test runs. One of West Indians, you know, best players over the last sort of 15, 20 years. So great to have him here. I mean, just some of the turnout of some of the players. I mean, you know, he really is a legend in his own right. Spent a lot of time in America. Obviously played international cricket for the West Indies, but just a real you know, advantage to having him as an addition to this whole team, what makes this tournament so special. Just a really good collection of guys, you know, professionals, semi-pros and amateurs, and guys come from different parts of the world. I mean, that's cricket, you know, all come together. Everyone seems very friendly, and the weather's been outstanding.
Well, I was sat here with Marcus North before, and KB from India were in a perilous position. KB strode out in his black trainers and started whacking sixes all over the place. Ended up with a strike rate of 300, and put smiles on a lot of faces around the ground. So it just shows that there's people going out there doing it their way, and exciting people. And someone like Shiv Chanderpaul, I've not been lucky enough to meet him in person, but I've been lucky enough to hear some amazing stories of his application and practice to how he goes about his batting. Obviously, he's renowned for being a world-class Test cricketer, and probably being one of the best at what he does, which is occupy the crease, and practices for hours and hours and hours.
They could have left your window open.
That's another wicket. He's out. That is emphatically bowled there by Veek. Is it Van Veek or just Veek?
Van Veek.
Van Veek, I thought so. My South African upbringing bringing me through there. But Venkel has a wild swing. 27 off 24 he goes. And I have to say, along with USA's hopes too, it is early days still, but on this kind of wicket, going to be very tough. And I thought it might be Shivnarine Chanderpaul, but I don't think that's him yet, is it? Or could it be Shivnarine Chanderpaul?
You'd like to hope so. That I think a lot of the people around the ground at 52 for 2 off 8, you'd hope that Chanderpaul will be out there.
Yeah, watch how late he plays the ball. He'll find a way of getting himself in, but can actually hit a big ball when he wants to. Hopefully he can get a few and excite this crowd that's now turned up in the late evening here. The sun's just sort of coming through now. Probably going down in the next couple of hours, but still great light out here and just perfect playing conditions.
Well, you'll get the opportunity to take the field in the next game, England-Scotland, as the cameras pan across to the New Zealand team, successful before against the UAE. They've took to the hydration station there.
Yeah, them and the Aussies they've definitely had a few beers, sorry.
And straight away, this is the beauty of this tournament. At 52 for 2 off 8, arguably the game may have slipped away from the USA, but the atmosphere, the ball goes past the bat. There's a few cheers, and people have come out the bar. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely, bowling to a Test, great, real opportunity for Vivek here. Have a bit of fun.
Such a distinctive stance, isn't it? All around the world, you wouldn't,
So relaxed, so natural. Hallmark of him as a player is how late he plays it. If you watch him, the way he practices, does hit thousands of balls, but really waits for the ball, plays it so late. You almost have to bowl half volleys at him to get him to come forward.
Well, you look at his bat. His bat looks like it's been permanently on the bowling machine, practicing in the week, and. Look, for me as a left-hander, I'm excited to see Chanderpaul out there batting here at Chester. It's a real treat for all of us who've come down to watch. And this brings in Doug Webster. For his second over, he went for 10 in his first over. So have you worked out what your role in the batting order is going to be?
Still got no idea. Just lucky to be in the team, to be honest with you. Trying to make a solid start. But it looks like we've got some good players. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's a really great form of the game and a lot of fun. And that's a cracking shot from Chanderpaul on the offside. Probably only just picked up one. He's looking for 2, and there's definitely been a run out. Yeah, absolute mix-up here. And what a mess up that is. Shivnarine Chanderpaul just come to the wicket, called him through, sent him back, said sorry, and the only thing that's sorry is the back of this batsman. So South Africa showing their discipline and their professionalism, and look like a really good outfit, don't they?
There was a complete mix-up there. Chanderpaul looked like he was going to be left stranded, but his partner Venkat clearly decided that the only way that the USA are going to get anywhere near this total was to run past Chanderpaul there and sacrifice himself. He just will not seem to take the foot off the pedal here, this South African side. And BT looks very, very happy with that run out. He's still celebrating it now, nearly 2 minutes after the event.
Yeah, not like the South Africans to be competitive, is it?
No, it's fair to say I don't think I've came across any other nationality that plays cricket quite like a South African.
Cracking shot behind square. I think that's going to be 4 runs. And Shivnarine Chanderpaul, as we've seen for so many years, just using the angles, playing the ball late under his eyes, and just guides it across this fast outfield for 4. Lovely little shot, lovely bit of timing.
As someone who has played so many years of club cricket, when you get to play against or watch top-level professionals, it's amazing how different the ball sounds off the bat, and that just, you know, flew off the face.
And he's out. And Shivnarine Chanderpaul is gone. He tries to whack one over the top, misguides it, and is caught by BT, the captain.
Who is celebrating on his own still, because he's took the catch. Well, that brief cameo from Chanderpaul's over. I know, Nick, that's the end of your stint here. I know you.
Yeah, got to get warmed up, mate. Try and get ready for the big game against Scotland, eh?
Yeah,
Wish me luck.
Good luck, and hopefully we can rectify the mistake of the one day. Cheers, pal. Just fantastic insight there from ex-Test cricketer Nick Compton there. He's back out there with England, and I'm going to wait for my co-commentator Bjorn to join me again.
Been a long day, Lee. Done an outstanding job. Thanks very much for helping out.
It's been a long day, as the dog on the outfield has had obviously a few too many waters, as well as we wait for the number 10 of USA.
Big wicket that for South Africa. They're pumped up. And JBT will remember that catch for the rest of his life.
BT seems to really enjoy his fielding out here. He's seems to celebrate every catch like it's his last. That's a lovely shot down the ground there by Sid, and picked up by the aforementioned BT.
It's been a good game for Doug. Contributed a bit with the bat, and he's picked up the vital wickets of Chanderpaul. He's put his hand up for selection. He's one of the fringe players in the team, so he'll be happy with that wicket and his performance today.
How many have South Africa brought over in the squad?
They've got 9 in the squad, and Vaughan van Berkel is an all-rounder, sat out today, so he'll get a game against Singapore tomorrow. That is a bullet arm to his brother there. Unnecessary.
I think the other 6 players on the team may have just let that run through rather than have their hands blurting off, but as it's his brother, it's probably just like being in the back garden at home.
Brotherly love there.
Oh, this feels so good. Does it?
So the halfway mark here, LMS USA are 61 for 4, and obviously we've changed ends now. I'm pretty sure that you mentioned this bowler in the first half, Bjorn.
Ryan Hobert, Hobie they call him. Big lad, but he's a fun character, and he's got such control and flight of the ball, and I enjoy watching his bowling. Something a bit different.
It's going to be interesting as the week goes on, because I think if we're playing on some hard green, standard north of England wickets here, I think the South Africans' bowling attack is certainly the best seam attack I've seen. It's going to be interesting as if we keep this weather up, whether some of the Asian teams benefit, because there's certainly been teams with some relatively strong spin attacks.
Don't forget, we didn't see Razak bowl today. That Pakistan lineup looked pretty decent as well. I think they'll go toe-to-toe with the South Africans. So, but yeah, you're right. I think the track is going to keep a bit low as the week goes on and do a bit more turns, so the spinners will come into it.
It's a nice shot. Should be able to come there and back. But the speed of some of these outfielders from South Africa is, it's a distinct step up from some of the way the ground's been covered by some of the sides today.
Yeah, it's a young side. Most would like to see at least half this team in the next World Series. They've built a good team spirit, and most of them in their early 20s, apart from Ryan, the bowler on now. This will probably be his last World Series, but the rest of the guys are young enough to play the next one as well.
So we've spoken a little bit about the teams picking an out-and-out keeper. Is Venter a batsman keeper, or is he an out-and-out keeper?
It's a tricky question. I mean, I'm a purist wicket keeper, so I'm going to call him a batsman wicket keeper, but he does a very tidy job. I don't want to take anything away from his glovemanship.
Well, we've all played on Cricket Captain on the computer, so he's got a bat and then the gloves next to it. He's not down as a specialist wicket keeper, but I certainly think he's been very, very tidy. It's just intriguing, because obviously a lot of the sides have, there's been all sorts of different standards of keeping today.
He keeps for his LMS team, so he's got a good experience. He's taken a lot of catches. He's not going to be your Jack Russell, though, is he? I mean,
he was something else.
Fantastic. I mean, hero of mine, and that's a wicket keeper specialist, isn't it?
I think the one sad thing that maybe has dropped out of cricket a little bit. We've had James Foster as well, Chris Reed, and they've never played as many Test matches as they should have done because they're deemed not to be as strong a batter. But the level of their wicket keeping is just something else, and I think it should still be a specialist position.
In Test cricket, it's tricky. I mean, you look at the guys coming in 9 and 10 and contributing with hundreds. It changes the game so often as South Africa learnt against England. So it's horses for courses, and depending on the dynamics of your team, what you can do. If you've got the luxury of a genuine all-rounder like Ben Stokes, then I think you can probably have a specialist wicketkeeper. But without Ben Stokes in your side, then you might want to have an all-rounder, a batsman wicketkeeper. Oh, he's got it.
He looks like he's knocked the stumps over and Venter here as well.
Good camaraderie there between the players. The batsman can't believe it. Another wicket for South Africa. 64 for 5 now, Lee, and into the tail.
It's been pretty ruthless, this, from the South African side.
It's been a good performance all round.
just for the people watching at home who are maybe going to tune into the England-Scotland game, it's going to be pretty quick after the end of this one.
Yeah, stay in your seats, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a humdinger of a game. My money's on Scotland, Lee. I think they've got a power unit, and I think it could be 2-0 Scotland after today.
I'm feeling relatively confident that the England side can right a few wrongs, and do the job. There's just looking over at the pavilion now. There's a fabulous photograph being taken with the England boys in the Blazers. Those sort of memories there. They can stay with you for a lifetime.
No, I mean that. I'm just kidding. That Nick Compton in the side, Nick W. Walsh, the skipper of England. They're going to be a good unit, and they should be the clear favourites against Scotland. So, be a good match to see, though. Chucky's on fire here, and as that one sails over the middle stump, and Wynand Venter, the wicketkeeper, can't believe it hasn't been another wicket.
So we've mentioned it a lot earlier in the day. If this is the first time you've seen LMS, and you're interested in maybe just playing in one of the franchises, or even there isn't one in your area and you're interested in setting one up, then log into the website.
lastmanstands.com/franchise, and you can start one up in your neck of the woods. That's another one down. Slower ball there. Did him for pace. Or lack of pace, should I say, Lee.
I think Van Wyk is putting a bit of a late surge in for player of the day here. While you were out the comms box, we had a really nice chat with Manpreet Singh, very humble young man from Singapore, the captain, who got 3 for and 40 odd now and took a sensational catch. But Van Wyk's hot on his heels here. Came on and managed to knock the tail over here and got a good 50 before. So something for the guys judging it to have a good think about.
Definitely putting his hand up here, Martin van Wyk. But I have to say, in the context of the game, the innings from Manpreet Singh and that catch was under much more difficult conditions. They were up against it against Wales, and he came in a difficult period and batted really well, whereas the South Africans kind of been stomping around this cricket field this afternoon and never been in doubt of winning this game.
Well, the other one that obviously we didn't see, it was on pitch 2. Jay Collins has managed to get a 90 off 29 balls.
Didn't see it, but I saw some of the balls almost taking out some of the spectators in the pavilion there.
It's worth mentioning that pitch 2 is, well, it's quite a bit smaller than pitch 1.
Straight boundary is very short, but the wide boundary is very wide. Square boundary, should I say. And really love the atmosphere because you can watch both games going on at the same time at the corner there by the pavilion, and it's filled up really nicely this afternoon.
Well, I heard they were giving out hard hats Bjorn when he was batting in the pavilion because it was raining 6s.
It's a good idea.
Just seeing on some of the local online Twitter that the crowd catch taken by Joe Kaloran off Abdul Razak was trending.
Unbelievable catch there, and I think the celebration was what really was got the crowd going.
Which is surprising because he's such an understated character in real life. You'd never know it. He actually took a night out the other night and had a little swim in the local canal, which just shows the kind of, even the ball travelling at such a rate of knots from Abdul Razak, that didn't matter. He put himself in the way of danger.
In the way of danger, and then danced the jig.
So we're here with Dua. He's 3 off 80. He's the last man standing here. If you've not watched one of these games before, or if you've just tuned in, he can only run 2s now, or hit 4s or 6s. So
What I will say is that Martin van Beek bowling has definitely got man of the match in this game, and he'll win a pair of the Bass cricket gloves, which I think he'll be very proud of. Fantastic gloves that you can buy on shop at lastmanstands.com.
That's a lovely shot. He's going to struggle to come.
Oh, what a pick up there! One and pick up by Ryan Hoburn. Crowd like that.
Just playing to the crowd there, showing a slight twinge of the hamstring. He's very lucky that Bjorn is such a huge fan as well. That's probably made Bjorn's day here. Being in Cheshire, we'd say you look like a Cheshire cat here, the way you're smiling.
Years of experience there, showing his class. Old man bending down there, one-handed pick up to the left. He is left-handed though.
Van Wyk got an outside chance of a 5-wicket haul here, Bjorn. Do you get many 5-wicket hauls in Last Man Stands?
Lee, there's not a lot. I myself have picked up a 5-wicket haul, and I'm a wicket keeper. And I tell you what, I celebrated, and I'll never forget that day. And all 5 wickets were caught on the boundary, and there should have been 6. And I don't know what the batsmen were thinking, because I bowled pies, but I'll claim it as a fifer.
I know the captain of our second 11 here, Dan Riley, often calls cow corner his slip cordon.
That's a good one. I think I might poach it, because that'll be mine as well. Fields in now for the last man standing. Jackie Martin throws one short, and
crowd enjoyed that, didn't they? There was a
little could have been a wide.
Oh, see, it's lovely sportsmanship from Van Wyk, just shaking the hand of the batter. But I'll be honest, if I, as a batsman myself, I wouldn't be shaking anyone's hand if they just bowled me a bumper. No,
and it wasn't. It was fairly nippy as well. I think he's faced too much of that in the leagues and Van Cortlandt Park down in New York. Fantastic setup down there in New York. There's nine pitches. The park left by the Van Cortlandt family and trust to the city of New York, and they've got unbelievably 9 cricket fields. I haven't seen that anywhere in the world. I think Regent's Park in London has about 5.
I'd imagine when all 9 are in
Don't
action,
think
that's
so,
pretty
mate.
special.
They play on a matting wicket that they roll out, so it takes about an hour to roll it out and nail it in. So a lot of dedication just to play cricket in the States.
It seems to be really taken off. Obviously, it's not the States, but Canada have just done a really good franchise tournament.
Yeah, it looked like it was well received as well. Surprised they picked some of the guys from down south and from Australia. I would have left them out of my side if I was a team captain, but
I did mention it to Marcus North, but he very quickly moved on to the fact that Australia were in a transitional period. He put all his hopes on Justin Langer.
Justin Langer is going to do wonders for the team, but
he's been an amazing coach of the Perth Scorchers, so he deserved this chance.
There was a time for a change, I think, in the Australian management, and I think he's the man for the job. Great for South Africa to win against Australia. It doesn't happen often, and we'll looking forward to the match on Friday against Australia. Jay Beattie coming on to bowl. He wants to pick up a wicket here. He had an interesting experience at the Dubai Customs League, the security checkpoint, and it's one of the airports where the males go in one line and the females go in the other to go through security, and they called him up to say he was in the wrong line, but they sorted it out in the end, and he managed to make his way to Chester, got through that difficult moment of the tour.
Just bits like that, though, being able to represent your country, you know, go on tour collectively, do the travelling, just gives all these players such a taste of, what some of these professional guys get to do week in, week out. It must be fantastic.
What a pleasure, what a life they lead, and I mean, just playing in front of this crowd now is quite special.
That and on cue, that could be one of the balls of the day.
Unbelievable delivery, and I know it's the last man standing there, but that would have bowled just about anyone.
Any left armer that can get the ball to go across, obviously Zahir Khan was always known for that. He was never the quickest bowler in international cricket, but
quality, wasn't he?
BT's had a very solid first game in the tournament there. He's took a couple of really good catches, good run out, and then obviously got that final wicket there. So comfortable victory for South Africa there. But
good win.
And look, there's a couple of positives for the USA there. They showed that they could pull it back in the second half of the bowling. I thought Kasakara and Nair did a fantastic job.
I'd like to think that Apurva, the team captain, will learn a lot from this game, and he'll get input from Chandipal, and we're going to see them improve as the tournament goes on. A few tactical errors that I don't think they'll make again. We're going to have a very quick turnaround here as we're heading into the twilight hours of the evening, as Scotland and England will be up next, and it'll be a very quick turnover between these games.
I don't think I've ever seen this before, Bjorn. We're actually watching two sets of umpires walk past the other two sets of umpires.
Are they going to high five? Yes, they give the handshake there. Oh, fantastic to see.
And the fair play to the groundsman, Alex Kegg. This is the quickest turnaround I've seen for a groundsman. A real generous applause from the spectators watching there as the South Africans and the USA teams just leave the field. I think South Africa will be happy with their day's work. I think there's a couple of little areas that they'll be able to discuss.
No, I think there's a few more miles in the tank there for them to step up a gear, and I think they've learned a lot from that game as well. So a good opening game for them. And I think they've set down the marker for the pool that they're one of the teams to beat, along with Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And real pressure on Australia in Pool B to now know that they've got three power teams in their group that they've got to. Two of them they've still got to play. Lost one, played one. Australia will be up against it for the rest of this tournament.
So just for people who maybe don't know the format of this World Cup, how many's in each group and how many qualify?
So we've got 6 in each group, and the top team in the group will get a bye through to the semi-finals, and second and third will play in a quarter-final against second and third in the pool, the other pool. The finals will take place on Sunday the 12th of August at this lovely venue, and I hope the weather plays its part, and yeah, it's going to be a great day.
If it stays like this all week, Bjorn will be in for a real festival of cricket.
Hope to see the local crowd get involved again. Be great to see the balcony full, and I'm sure they're going to come down and support it. They've been fantastic today. The local cricket watchers, they call them speckies down here in England, that I learned today, and
certainly do. So here's your adopted team in Scotland, Bjorn. For balance, obviously I'm going to be following England quite strongly here.
My grandmother was Scottish, so I'll be supporting them, and that's how I get my visas to come visit you guys, through her. So it'd be unwise not to support her in this her team in this tournament.
And obviously for the people who aren't here, the fact that Bjorn's put his kilt on as well is very patriotic.
Very windy here today, and breezy, and yeah, kilts very comfy in these warm conditions.
So like we said, it is a quick turnaround here. Watts from Scotland will be opening the bowling. From the commentary end here, he's wearing the number 1 in the famous blue of Scotland. And it looks like England will send their franchise player out very, very early in the day here.